guys, you'll need to forgive me because today it's going to be a long video. And the reason for that is because of the person I'm going to talk about. This is a video dedicated to my wife, a person whom I see as a wife of noble character as per Proverbs 31, right? The reason this came about today specifically is because of the death of Shona Ferguson. But not only that, the resulting action of the message that came from his wife, Shona Ferguson. It's so heartwarming, it's so heart-wrenching. It draws at your tear ducts even when you don't want to, you know. And when my wife heard it, basically, she kept saying over and over that the more she finds out about Shona Ferguson, the type of person he was, all the things that he actually did in his life, the more she actually gets to correlate that with me and the way I treat her, the way I treat my kids, the way I'm always present, and the way I show love more than anything when it comes to my kids. And it got us so emotional to the extent where I figured, do I really want my wife to give such a message about me when I'm dead? Or would I rather hear those words whilst I'm still alive, right? All the things that draw at my tear ducts, it's the type of things that I'd like to hear today from my wife. So I figured, what if the roles were reversed? Would there be a vessel whereby she would have heard me express my love for her to the fullest, to her, to the rest of the world? And since now I have this platform, which is YouTube, I figure it's the best platform. I figure it's the best platform that I can basically use to actually show my love for her and to just remind her of the importance and value that she adds in my life, the value that she is to me. The way when I wake up, I'm encouraged to do things. I'm encouraged to be a better me and to actually make a difference out there. But basically starting home first, right? It's one thing for me to do all that I can with all that God has bestowed in me and all of my talents out there, but it's another if I can actually express it and show it to my wife right here, right now, today. She's my soulmate. She's the person that has been with me, that has been married to me since 2013, right? But she's the person that I met back in 2010. And our story is a funny story, but let me just share it just for your amusement, right? So back in 2010, when I met her, I was in a 3-year-long relationship. And funny enough, she was in a 3-year-long relationship herself, you know. And at the time, in fact, it was 2 years. She was in a 2-year-long relationship and myself as well. So 2010 would have been the 3rd year, right? But there was an instant click between the two of us. She was just this rural girl, where she basically plait, you know how a straight back goes to the back. She basically plait going up, and then here there was like an afro or something like that. So she was a peculiar character, but her fashion sense is what made you basically notice her, you know. She was quite dark skinned then, largely because where she's from, 𝐌𝐮𝐬𝐷 𝐔𝐬𝐞𝐝, it's quite hot. So that sun during the year of her first year of working back in KZN, it had taken its toll on her. But there was something instant, right? And there was that connection that we felt, despite the fact that we were in relationships ourselves. But through that connection that we had, then we basically got to talking. We're working in the same office, so I got to know about where she's from, what she's all about, and same with myself, right? And it couldn't have come at a better time because I then moved out of home. I had basically finished studying my degree and I started working, doing my community service here at the OR Tambo International Airport. So that's where our relationship that's where we basically met, essentially. But I just now, a month into basically working, then I moved out of home, right? went and got an apartment which I shared with a friend of mine, 𝐌𝐮𝐬𝐜 in Kempton Park, close to work, so it was convenient, close to the taxi rank, so there were no issues. But that gave me an opportunity to basically build a relationship with her over time, right? So from February, I'd known her for a month, but from February, I had already made my intentions clear, despite the fact, unfortunately, that I was in a relationship at the time. But my intentions were clear, and I could see that attraction. She liked me, I liked her, so we got it going despite the existing relationships. So we basically continued for a year, and then that's when we decided to call it off with our existing partners and actually go full on together. And who would have thought? I mean, it's now 2021. We've been together for a whole 11 years in total now. Even when I count that year of promiscuity of 2010, right? So it's been 11 years. 2013, basically we got married. I lobolad, a paid dowry, right? And and the adjustment was pretty tough. I'll tell you one thing. She's basically a strong character. I'm one of those go-lucky guys, those friendly guys, those soft guys, the type of guys that take things easy, the type of guys that don't worry about a whole lot of things, right? But she's a determined character. She's a strong character. She knows what she wants and when she wants it, and you know, she knows when to get what she wants, right? And that's part of what attracted me to her to begin with, because in my other previous relationship, I hadn't met someone who was quite as compatible in that sense, in the sense that I'm a go-getter, but you know, I'm calculative, I'm analytic. She's a go-getter, but she's feisty and she thinks now and she wants to do now. So that balance basically trickled in together, right? So that match actually happened. And when we got married, I was one to journal a lot. There's a journal that I bought back in 2010, my first year of working, and I used to journal a lot, right? So when I got married, there's something that I journaled that I'd like to share with you, right? So I got married basically on the 23rd of November 2013, and I journaled on the 26th of November when we were back this side, right? So I paid dowry, then we signed in front of the pastor, and the witnesses were our parents, right? So there was no massive ceremony or whatever other than the cultural things that we had to do as part of the process of getting married. But I'd like to share this with you guys, right? What I wrote and jot down back then in 2013. So I basically wrote, every time I jot down Every time I jot down my thoughts in this book, I always feel like I have never felt this happy before in my life. Then God comes along and proves me wrong by making me the happiest man alive on earth, by making me happier and happier. I've just gotten married, and so far the 23rd of November 2013 serves as the best day of my life. Every single thing was God willing, and went not according to our plan, but according to God's plan. The love and support we received was overwhelming, and it proved that God is love, because the type of people in my life and Joy's life are placed there by God. Every single person who was there was happy, and the function was what it was because of them. The traveling went well and all were safe. No accidents were reported. You must bear in mind basically that she, from here where we stay now, Jozi, you know, or Boxback, she stays 500 kilometers away. So it's like a 6-hour drive because it's a mountainous area. The speed limit, there's no street lights, those type of things. So it's like a 6-hour drive. So I had to mention that and thank God for that in what I basically jotted down back then. The food was magnificent. The drinks were the best and most refreshing. The singing was superb. The accommodation was affordable, cozy, welcoming, and very comfortable. Everyone we interacted with was just great. 𝐷𝐿𝐼 is truly a beautiful place, and we are truly blessed, right? But here's my favorite part about what I jotted back then in 2013. Now I declare that my marriage is blessed. My wife is blessed, beautiful, kind, giving, strong, smart, respectful, comforting, a mother, the joy in my life. I declare that I will love her till separated by death and nothing else. My family is blessed. My daughter, at the time I only had one daughter, it was 2013. So I had written here that my daughter is blessed. But obviously, even when my daughters got born, I actually made declarations for them in this very same journal. I declare that I will be a superb and great husband. I will love my wife. Yes, I will love my wife. And I'll be strong. I'll support her. I'll be her shoulder to cry on. I will protect her. I'll lead this marriage in the right direction. Treat every day like it's a new day, a blessed day. I declare that we will put God first. I declare that nothing shall separate us from the love of God. All thoughts will be directed towards positivity. I will tame my tongue and listen to God's wisdom. Our marriage will be the perfect example, and we are the perfect couple. In Jesus Christ's name, I declare all the above. My marriage is blessed. No ifs, ands, or maybes. So this is a declaration that I made. And for me, reading it now, it actually serves as a vow and as a reminder of all the things that I promised to myself and inadvertently and indirectly promised to her, to the people watching, and to the rest of the world, right? And so it's important for me to remind myself of all the things that I've shared, all the things that I've put in my heart, and all the things that I've entrenched and tied around my neck, right? In relation to the woman that I married and the love that I have for her and the love that ultimately then trickles down to my kids and the rest of my family. So Connie, in her message to her now late husband, Shona Ferguson, she basically was saying, in essence, some of the things that she probably was expressing during the time when Shona was still alive, right? But in my case, you know, the marriage has had its ups and downs to the extent that we've gone for premarital counseling. It's all part of the journey before we got married, but also after we got married, we faced a few challenges of our own, right? One of the things is that I work pretty hard. I'm a workaholic of note, and that took its toll on the relationship that I have with my wife, right? Secondly, I'm pretty focused on everything that I do, right? And that in itself can be, you know, my analytic nature, my cryptic nature, my basically, let's just say we had things that we've had to overcome during the course of our marriage. So nothing in marriage is just hunky-dory. And I don't like and appreciate the fact that people just focus on the negatives when they actually speak about marriage and how it takes its toll on the relationship. There are plenty of good things that exist in marriage, and me, myself, in my own marriage, I'm one of the happiest people that, you know, ever existed, if I can say so myself, right? So basically, I'm doing this long vlog specifically to give out a message to my wife, to say, I love you, 𝐷𝐿𝐿𝐼. I love you, I honor you, I treasure you, and I want you to know that it shouldn't take for me to die, for you to die, for you to know that. You have to know it, that it's in my heart, it's entrenched there, and it belongs there, right? You belong as the inner part of my heart, right? And you are the wife of noble character as per Proverbs 31. I'm going to put basically a voiceover of me reading Proverbs 31 out loud and me appreciating what it says about the role that a woman plays and how it then highlights the character of the woman, but also how it puts a shine on the husband because of the woman, right? So I basically want to say that I declare and redeclare my love to you. We basically late. We still need to do our white wedding. We still need to do our traditional wedding. We still need to basically celebrate this specific journey that we've been on. I thank you and I love you for bearing my kids, for being the greatest mother that I've ever seen, you know. for being there and just being a kind soul, for taking care of your family while also taking care of mine, balancing it on both sides, having that what you do on the left, you do on the right mentality. I appreciate you for that, you know. I thank you for building me into the man that I am today, for building my character and shaping it and converting me into the man that I am today. I wasn't always a go-getter. I was always considered smart. I was always considered as someone who likes things and who likes to dabble and try things out, but not to the extent as to, you know, as when I actually met you. I know business and entrepreneurship because I met you, right? I know a lot of, you basically push me, Makgolane. You basically highlight my strengths. You basically show that our symbiotic relationship within our marriage is one that gels together, and it's one that basically takes us forward, right? So you are the woman of my dreams, and I want to continue to celebrate you for being the woman of my dreams. I want to continue to say that I love you and I honor you, and I thank God for you each and every day, right? You've shown me what respect is. You've shown me what love is. You've basically put that kingly crown on my head. So I thank you for that. I don't want you to ever forget it. And here's my plea to you. I'd like you to continue being the wife of noble character, to being the one that still makes me laugh. We are currently busy on this 90-day challenge, right? And the video that we took, basically, that we're gonna put on YouTube after the 90-day has lapsed, but I'll put just a snippet so that you guys can understand what I'm talking about when I talk about the relationship, how it is, how we basically are the pieces of the puzzle that fit together. I'll put it right here so that you basically get a glimpse of it, and maybe you can laugh at how we've become the people that we've become over the years, right?
Hi.
Hi, baby, this is not on.
This is not alive.
This is not alive. Hi, guys.
Well,
Hi.
it looks wrong.
Is this what being a husband is all about?
Is this what being a wife is all about?
You keep feeding me.
You keep feeding me.
No, this is wrong.
Very wrong.
We need to do something about
We
this.
need to do something about this.
So what are we going to do about it?
90 days challenge.
90 days challenge. We're going to kick it like Jackie Chan.
And we need to promise each other something.
Let's promise each other something.
Winter we eat healthy.
Hi.
No commerce.
Hi, Kanet.
No beetroot.
Hi, beetroot.
Oh, okay, beetroot, yes. No
Yes.
mayonnaise.
Hi, Kanet.
No mhodu.
Hi,
So
Kanet.
must stop buying that box of mhodu
Yo.
for me to cook it.
Yeah.
Love, we need to stop. We work so hard. You know, spring, what is it now? Autumn. We work so hard to keep everything in shape. You know, we swim, we do all physical, we do the hiking, and just winter. It's just
Winter we regress. And this is not it, people.
this is not. Look.
God, at least we are a power couple.
Yeah, that would look beautiful.
Hey.
Yeah.
But we have plenty of other goals: material goals, spiritual goals, emotional goals, physical goals, financial goals. And I'm happy to have those goals with you. I'm happy that I have that vision that I'm going to build with you. Because without you, I do understand that there's a void that I'm to fill. There's a lot that I'm to miss out on. So I ask God to keep you, Makgolane. I ask God to just be with us on this journey, to prosper us, to grow us, and to develop us, and to actually help us become an example to those that are watching. Since I've started YouTube, you are the one that was pushing me to say, start, you're gifted in this thing. You know, you've already learned, you've put time into it, you've been consuming YouTube anyway. So why not put your voice on this platform? And it starts with you, basically started because of you. 𝐌𝐻 𝐔𝐬𝐞𝐝 Foundation, it started because wena Makgolane no batla hore re fe. You wanted us to have open arms, to share. You know, that's just who you are. That's just who you are. So I want the world to know who you are. I want the world to appreciate who you are. I want the world to understand that I am the man that I am because of you. And I thank you that each and every day you remind me that you love me more than I love you, which is not true, by the way. I love you more than you love me. And I hope it becomes a constant argument until our 80s, 90s, until God keeps us longer than we can ever assume to be kept, right? But you are my wife of noble character. I love you. I appreciate you. And I know we often get messages of people watching. People are watching. People are seeing us as that power couple. People are seeing us as people that they want to emulate, people that they want to follow in their footsteps. And we appreciate that, right? But this message is basically not about that. It's just to share with the world, to say, I love 𝐷𝐻𝐻, I appreciate this woman, and I don't want to die before she actually gets the full scope and complexity of how much I love her. I don't want to die before she actually gets to feel the reward of how much I love her. So yeah, guys, there's basically gaps, a lot of gaps, because I was freestyling, I was speaking from the heart, right? So there's basically a lot of gaps of things that you would have missed, or that I would have missed when sharing basically what me and 𝐷𝐻𝐻 are all about. But I think my message is clear, and I think my message goes out there to say, basically, here are a few tips, right? If you want to succeed in your relationship, put in the time. Prioritize your family. That's what Shona did. He put in the time, he prioritized his family. He made sure that even friends would know that if I had to choose between my wife, between my kids, and you're out. I cut you out. I have the exact same mentality. If I have to choose between my wife, my kids, and you, and you're my friend, I cut you out. Never put me in that situation, because I appreciate my friends and I appreciate my family. But one definitely outweighs the other, right? Another tip is that work together with your finances. It's one of the things that has kept us. When it comes to financial management, work together. If you're not married yet, go to premarital counseling. It will basically guide how you should actually go about addressing certain things within your marriage, how you should go about building your marriage, right? So those are essentially the 3 tips that I'd like to give you for now. Other things will basically follow as this YouTube channel grows and as we age together, and as we understand the entire message that it starts with you at the end of the day. But thank you for listening. Thank you for being here. Subscribe. I got a whole lot of content that's coming up on this channel, developmental, educational, thought-provoking type content that basically deals with relationships, that basically deals with finances, that deals with business, spirituality. It's a whole concoction, it's a whole mix of things that deal with a person in his holistic nature. And based on that, I hope you basically got to, I'm glad essentially that you got to let me release and basically share how I feel about the person that I married and how I feel about you guys. I love you guys as well, right? I love you guys. I appreciate you, and thank you for staying until this point. On to the next one, guys. On to the next one. Just stick around and let's enjoy. Let's enjoy. Cheers. It starts with you.
The wife of noble character. Proverbs 31 verses 10 to 31. A wife of noble character who can find? She is worth far more than rubies. Her husband has full confidence in her and lacks nothing of value. She brings him good, not harm, all the days of her life. She selects wool and flax and works with eager hands. She is like the merchant ships, bringing her food from afar. She gets up while it's still dark. She provides food for her family and portions for her servant girls. She considers a field and buys it. Out of her earnings, she plants a vineyard. She sets about her work vigorously. Her arms are strong for her tasks. She sees that her trading is profitable, and her lamp does not go out at night. In her hand she holds the distaff and grasps the spindle with her fingers. She opens her arms to the poor and extends her hands to the needy. When it snows, she has no fear for her household, for all of them are clothed in scarlet. She makes coverings for her bed. She is clothed in fine linen and purple. Her husband is respected at the city gate, where he takes his seat among the elders of the land. She makes linen garments and sells them, and supplies the merchants with sashes. She is clothed with strength and dignity. She is clothed with strength and dignity. She can laugh at the days to come. She speaks with wisdom, and faithful instruction is on her tongue. She watches over the affairs of her household, and does not eat the bread of idleness. Her children arise and call her blessed, her husband also, and he praises her. Many women do noble things, but you surpass them all. Charm is deceptive and beauty is fleeting, but a woman who fears the Lord is to be praised. Give her the reward she has earned, and let her works bring her praise at the city gate. That's my wife for you.